Hey guys, welcome back, and today I'm going to be ranking all Sonic Frontiers bosses in Minibosses. Keep in mind that there are going to be massive, and I mean massive spoilers, so if you haven't finished it, finish Sonic Frontiers and come back. Some bosses have multiple variants. I will only be counting the hardest one for the sake of the video. All of this ranking is my personal opinion, so if you have anything to say, put it in the comments and let me know. And with that out of the way, let's get on to ranking all bosses and mini-bosses from Sonic Frontiers. Number 17, Asura. Asura will slam its hand down into the ground. This is very easy to dodge. The blue rings Asura makes will launch Sonic towards the boss. After being launched up, you have to damage Asura by hitting one of the spikes on its head. This isn't too hard to do, but later on it can get a little tricky. Asura will then throw out red rings. They will push Sonic back if he touches them. There will be rings around Asura's spikes, but as long as you stay in the air, it's not that big of a deal. Asura will throw out a bunch of blue rings and red rings. A bunch of jank can happen here, so I would recommend being careful. Orbs will spawn near Asura's spikes and they will go on the spikes. As long as you know where to go, it's not too big of a problem. And the fight's really easy overall. There's no real way of dying. Number 16, Shark. For the fight to really begin, you have to grab on the shark's tail. To do this, just homing attack it. You will have to be put in a bunch of quick time events, so when the arrows show up, go in that direction. When this animation plays, go down on the joystick. Shark will summon pillars. To dodge these, go in the direction that the arrows point to. After the pillars, Shark will summon rockets. Dodge them the same way you do the pillars. Shark is basically some forgiving quick time events. Number 15, Sumo. Sumo will force you into an arena and you can't escape it. Sumo cannot be damaged normally, so you will have to go to the little wires. Sumo's main attack is insanely easy to dodge. To damage Sumo, you will have to connect your trail onto Sumo, and you'll have to hit him into the wires. If you do this, wail on Sumo and kill him. After you hit Sumo, the electric wires will become gapped. Sumo has a way of actually attacking Sonic, and that's why he's up here. But the fight's still incredibly easy, being able to be cheesed and wailed on. Number 14, Ghost. Ghost doesn't really attack you by itself. It will take away 1 ring per second, so if you have a low ring count, you better be ready. To damage Ghost, you have to use the side loop on the totems that Ghost goes around. The platforming will get more complex as the fight goes on. Ghost will summon a black hole that will take your rings really fast, so you want to get out of here as soon as possible. Ghost will try to shoot you with an insta-kill beam, so watch out for it. It's pretty easy to dodge, but it does come out fast, so after you know that it's there, it's pretty easy to dodge. I fought Ghost in every single way you can fight Ghost in the different arenas, and all of those times I found it pretty easy. To me, it really depends on how you play. Number 13, Squid. If you don't get on Squid's trail, he'll shoot little balls at you. These are really easy to dodge, even without boosting. If you do get on Squid's trail, he'll shoot several balls at you. Make sure to dodge these by knowing what path is open. It can be pretty hard for new players, but once you know where to go, it's pretty easy to dodge. Damaging Squid is really easy. Get to where Squid is and use the homing attack or whatever moves you might have unlocked. Dodging Squid's main attack is really easy. All you have to do is boost away or parry it. Squid is the last boss that I would consider very easy, but he does put up a fight for newer players. Number 12, Spider. Spider travels way wider distances than you might think at first, so with a single step, he can outmatch you in speed. Make sure to be on the lookout for where he's gonna walk, because he will walk really far. Spider's leg stab is really easy to dodge. All you have to do is boost away. To side loop Spider's legs, I would recommend doing it when Spider stabs the ground, because his legs will be stuck in the ground for a bit. Spider is completely immune to physical damage, unless you do some certain things that I will talk about later. After you side loop all of Spider's legs, it will bounce you up right into the heavens. You will have to do a skydiving segment, and you'll have to get the blue rings. You'll have to get a lot of them, which is way more than 2, so don't take my footage for granted. You have to get way, and I mean way more than 2 rings. Spider will then be free to attack, and this is where the fight basically ends. To me, the hardest part about Spider is getting the legs side looped in the first place, but it puts up a pretty good fight. Number 11, Strider. To get up Strider will summon some rings. You have to boost on these rings in order to get up to Strider's main free rings. You'll have to make the free main rings blue circles. In order to do this, you have to boost. Strider will try to stop this by using a laser, but it's really easy to dodge. After this, you can go absolutely combo mad on Strider. Sometimes you can defeat him on the first cycle, but usually I'll just defeat him on the second. Strider will fire out red, green, and purple orbs. The red and green ones go about the same speed, but the purple one goes the fastest by a mile. Strider can honestly kill you, and that's why he's up here, but he's not that bad compared to some of the other mini-bosses I'll be covering. Number 10, Fortress. Fortress will shoot out meteors. These are pretty easy to dodge, and they even tell you where the attack is gonna land, so just dodge them by running away or boosting. Fortress will open up 5 rails for you to grind on. Boost whenever the rails turn blue if you want to catch up, and the rails will disappear and reappear, so keep in mind where the rails are going to go, or else you'll have to die or restart the fight. Fortress will summon some orbs. These are easy enough to dodge if you can react in time, but they do come out quick. Just make sure you watch where to go, and you'll be fine. When you get the Fortress, he's really easy to combo, and you can kill him on the first cycle. But if you want to see the second one, let Fortress live, and this one's pretty freaking difficult. After some orb dodging, you'll have to homing attack some birds. This is pretty easy to do, but if you mess up, there's a good chance you can fall all the way back down. Fortress is definitely one of the harder fights if you actually want to do it, but if you don't, then it's pretty easy. But no matter where you fight it, I still think it belongs here. Number 9, Tank. The fight starts with Sonic getting swept away. He will be transported to a different gameplay segment, so I will tell you how the fight goes. After some time, Tank will spin Sonic around, and you have to hit the in-between parts between the flames. It can be a little tricky, but once you find your rhythm, it should be pretty easy to keep up. After some more homing attacks, you can then absolutely wail on Tank after this cutscene. You can kill them in one cycle, or depending on your damage output, 2 or 3. Tank will shoot a bunch of circles at once. This is easy enough to dodge if you're close, but kinda hard to dodge if you're far away. Tank will try to shoot bullets at Sonic. These are pretty easy to dodge, but if you're walking, these can be really hard. I recommend running, or whatever looks like running in this cutscene. Tank will then start shooting more circles. These are easy enough to dodge, just make sure you know where they are and you'll be fine. Tank puts up a really good fight if you want it to. Number 8, Silver Hammer. Silver Hammer will shoot several spikes at Sonic in a flurry of rushes. Make sure to dodge these by running or boosting, but if you don't want to deal with it, then go away from Silver Hammer. If you decide to side loop Silver Hammer, you will remove 1 layer from Silver Hammer. This can be useful if you just want to get some damage out, but you don't have the opportunity to use your Sonic Boom, so I recommend using it if you have to. Silver Hammer will send a spike out that will create a pillar of flames. This can be pretty hard to dodge if you don't see it coming, but if you have the space, it's pretty easy to dodge. Just make sure to watch out because it goes a pretty big range. Silver Hammer will spawn 2 pillars right next to his bottom. Make sure to side loop these if you want to remove them as fast as possible, but you can just simply go out of the way. When Silver Hammer slams the ground, spikes will appear. Make sure to jump over these. You can either double jump, move out of the way, or air boost over them. For me, Silver Hammer is up here because of how chaotic the fight can get if you don't pay attention. Number 7, Master Ninja. Master Ninja will do a bunch of slices. These can be pretty hard to dodge if you are close, but if you parry or you're from a distance, it should be pretty easy. Master Ninja has this one attack where it will summon a clone, and if you don't see it coming, you can get comboed and the results can be devastating. This attack will force you to parry. Ninja will spawn 4 other clones, and if you aren't ready, you will die. A good way to dodge it is by making sure you either dodge or parry them. This should give you enough time to either dodge or parry the rest, but do keep in mind you can still mess up. Master Ninja will sometimes shoot a laser. This comes out really fast, and while it is easy to dodge, do keep in mind it comes out really fast, so that makes up for its easiness. When Master Ninja glows purple and you try to attack it, it will counterattack. Know when it glows purple and you'll be fine. It really depends, but for me, Master Ninja more than earns its spot as the second hardest mini-boss in Sonic Frontiers. Number 6, Caterpillar. The fight starts with a cutscene, and this is how the fight will play. For this fight, you have to get the blue orbs and dodge the red orbs. Caterpillar will shoot a laser every now and then, and you have to jump or duck under it. It can be pretty hard with all the stuff that goes on later in the fight. Eventually, golden orbs will appear. Homing attack these to get the final blue orb, and then you can finally attack Caterpillar. Caterpillar will start spamming orbs. Make sure to move out of the way because a lot of these spawn, and I mean a lot. Beams will spawn that will slowly expand. Make sure you are either close or far away to dodge these the best possible. If you go for the second cycle, you have a lot more to dodge. As you can see here, I have to be constantly active in what I'm doing and switch lanes whenever I have to, instead of just being chill and just kind of sitting there. You do the exact same thing as in the first cycle, but you have to get a lot more golden orbs. If you side loop Caterpillar, it will become absolutely defenseless. This is crucial if you want to one-cycle it, as it will be defenseless for a long time. Caterpillar is by far the hardest mini-boss to me, but we aren't ready for the Titans yet. If you don't want to be spoiled on the Titans, click off. I want you to experience these awesome boss fights for yourself, so if you haven't fought them yet, go fight them and then come back. But if you have seen them already, then let's continue on with some of the best boss fights in Sonic history, the Titans. Number 5, Giganto. To get the Chaos Emerald on Giganto, you have to climb him. If you climb him correctly, you will never deal with the rings on Giganto. But if you do, they should be pretty easy to dodge. They go in a pattern, and it's very easy to know when the pattern is coming up. Super Sonic will lose 1 ring every second, so I recommend bringing either max rings or as many rings as you can possibly can. But I bring maximum rings just for the sake of it. When Giganto spins his arm around, it will create a giant circle. Dodge this by either parrying or moving away. Giganto will also do some slashes. Do the same thing with the circle spin, either move away or parry. If you parry Giganto, you can use your Grand Slam to do massive damage, and the animation speaks for itself here. If you side loop Giganto, he will be set into the air. Giganto will not only be completely stunned, but he will take extra damage from what I've seen at least, so use this to your advantage. When Giganto gets to half health, a cutscene will play. He'll start spouting lasers everywhere, and I'll be talking about these in a bit. Several lasers will shoot towards Sonic. These are pretty easy to dodge since they aren't that big, but a lot of them do spawn, so you want to make sure to just damage Giganto. So ignore the lasers, just damage Giganto. Giganto will every now and then do a quick time attack. You have to mash a lot here. It's not too bad, but you do have to mash a lot in order to survive. You can parry this hand slam, but if you don't, then you will be put in another quick time event. Mash and you'll be fine. The length of the fight is why I put it up so high. Number 4, Wyvern. To interact with the boss at first, you have to climb up a tower. I'm not counting it because the boss really isn't involved, it's just kinda there, so that's why I'm not counting the tower climb. The initial phase is very similar to Squid's fight. Hit the bars in order to start it, and dodge the little sparks on the ground, or else you will lose all of your rings. The sparks are much harder to dodge, and you have to be very precise with your movements. After enough of that, you get the Chaos Emerald, and the fight truly starts. To damage Wyvern, first you'll have to parry the missiles, and then you'll have to parry a slash, which he does later on. After some time, Wyvern will counterattack. It's pretty fast, so you just want to hold the parry button. If you manage to land the parry, Sonic will do an absolutely crazy animation. If you don't do the Grand Slam, Wyvern will just shoot a laser. The laser's pretty fast and can't be hard to parry, but just hold it and you'll be fine. If you side loop Wyvern, he will be stuck in place, and you can do a lot of damage. At half health, Wyvern will just summon a bunch of rains. The rains aren't that hard to dodge, they just kinda exist and you can ignore them for the most part. Wyvern will then do a double slash. Just parry the first one and then parry after the second one. When Wyvern gets to about a quarter of his health, a quick time event will start. Make sure you time it or you have to do the quick time event again. When Wyvern's just about to die, you have to do a quick time event. And after that, you have to do another one, but this time you have to mash instead. You'll have to do one more quick time event, and then one more mashing quick time event. Number 3, Knight. Knight will slide across the ground and spikes will summon out. Make sure to move out of the way or just stay in place because either of those two will work. Knight will then slam his hand to the ground. Dodge this by boosting away. Then spikes will summon out. You can parry these or you can jump over them. Get on Knight's hand, get on the rails, and that's how you climb Knight. Climb Knight and you'll get the Chaos Emerald. And then the fight can start. This one's a good one, so don't miss it. Knight for most of the fight moves around a lot. If you parry a sword slash, a shield will pop up. Either you can hit the shield enough times to go to the shield phase, or completely ignore it and damage Knight that way. The slash is deceptively hard to dodge. You either want to move away or parry. Knight has a different variation, just move away or parry. If you hit the shield enough times, then you'll start the shield phase. First, you have to go to a quick time event, and then the rest of the cutscene will play. You have to hit Knight with the shield. The rockets will either propel you forward or boost you back, depending on which direction you're moving in. So make sure to just hit Knight with the shield. A cutscene will play. Knight will go absolutely insane, and then he'll throw out a shield to use in the second phase. Knight and his shield will move around. What you have to do is parry the shield and predict where Knight is gonna move. So basically, parry the shield, predict where Knight moves, and then kill him. If you side loop Knight, he'll rise to the air. But if you side loop him again after that, a sword from heaven goes and stabs him. The Grand Slam is really cool here, and it can also do a bunch of damage to Knight, so if you can use it, use it. After this, Knight will pull out a sword. Then a quick time event will happen, so make sure you time it right. After that, you'll have to mash a lot. If you fail either one of these quick time events, you have to restart the entire fight. Number 2, Supreme. Supreme will shoot golden diamonds. You can either move away, dodge, or parry. None of these really do anything, and the diamonds do knock you back, so use this to your advantage if you want to be knocked back or knocked forward. What you have to do is destroy the small drones around Supreme. You will be knocked back, but this is a good thing as the parry segment will start. To get through the parry segment, you must parry all of Supreme's yellow lasers. Just hold the parry button and you'll be perfectly fine. After some time, Supreme will do an attack just like Giganto. Parry it and you get the exact same recovery smash animation. I think it's cool, but come on. If you parry the attack while the drones are out, you get sent into a cutscene where you get knocked all the way back. Also, the side loops on Supreme are the exact same as Giganto, so while they are pretty cool, it is kinda lame that it's the same thing. When Supreme gets to half health, he will freak out and grow wings, but they don't show up in the fight. Supreme will fly around, and the drones will shoot out a lot more diamonds. After you get the drones, you have to parry, but it's a lot more complicated this time, with you having to parry several times. When Supreme gets damaged enough, a quick time event will start. Make sure you time it. At the end of the day, this fight is basically just a harder Giganto. Number 1, the end. There are two types of shots in this fight, light shots and dark shots. Light shots can shoot and are immune to light orbs, but the dark ones can shoot and are immune to dark orbs. When that blue bar goes up to full, it will turn yellow and you can do a special shot. This is your main way of dealing damage to the end. I won't be counting every variation of the end's attack since it's mostly spamming the light and dark orbs, but I will be counting the unique ones and really difficult orb attacks. The end will occasionally shoot lasers. These lasers are designed to limit your movement and can be very tricky if you don't know when they will appear. For this attack, you want to be constantly switching sides, so make sure to switch to light when the light orbs appear, switch to dark when the dark orbs appear. For this one, you want to be constantly switching sides and constantly moving around. For this attack, constantly switch sides, just whatever orb is closest to you, switch to that side. The end will just shoot a giant laser, so move away from the middle of the screen. This attack is absolutely insane. I'll let the footage go on for a bit so you can see how crazy this attack is. For this attack with the several lasers, once you find an open spot where you don't die to the lasers, stay in that spot. This attack from early in the fight comes back, but it is scaled up to 1 billion. It is absolutely insane. How do you not die here? When the big laser attack happens, and I don't mean in terms of size, I mean in terms of difficulty. And when this attack happens again, it gets even crazier. Expanding orbs will appear, and this attack is crazy to dodge. You need at least one super shot in order to survive this without dying at least once. When the view changes, the fight's practically over. You have to do a bunch of quick time events here, and while it is pretty easy, messing up means you have to retry all of that all over again. But overall, if you pull through, you can win. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I won't be making as many boss rankings in 2023 since, as you can see, they take a while to make. I'll be making them in between other projects I do, so expect to see more different projects and less boss rankings, but I'll still make sure to keep them up every now and then. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.